If you were to think of the United States as a sentence, Homer, Alaska would be its punctuation, the place a person pauses to breathe. It's a big, small town at the end of America's roadway system. 220 miles south of Anchorage, Homer is reputed to be the place that Alaskans come to relax. Both rural and city people find themselves drawn to this area for any number of reasons. This program will spend the next half of an hour looking at some of those reasons. Homer, as it lay snuggled between Cook Inlet and Kachemak Bay, views the very best of Alaska's scenic wonders. This bay is and of itself a work of art. Three glaciers, Dixon, Portlock, and Gruink, hang from mountain thrones encircling these waters. The Kachemak Bay hosts an array of visitors during the summer and fall. Visitors come from across the world and include migrating sea mammals such as these humpback whales. Pods of humpback, as well as other types of whales and porpoises, migrate through the bay annually. Other types of sea mammals, like otters, seals, and sea lions, live here year-round. Likewise, a myriad of sea and land birds live and migrate through the Kachemak Bay region up into the Cook Inlet. The Homer Chamber of Commerce has recently organized a shorebird festival to celebrate the arrival of these summer friends. One bird the residents of Homer hold a great deal of affection for is the sandhill crane, an endangered species. These cranes call both the beginning of summer and the end of fall on a yearly basis. All of Alaska boasts of scenic beauty and abundant wildlife. Rightfully so. Alaskan residents share the same reverence for the state's diversity of life. Homer has a special blessing in that the Kachemak Bay houses 6 distinct bioregions. These regions reflect the full spectrum of Alaska's diversity in a relatively small geographical area. One may reasonably assert that almost anything people expect to find in Alaska may be found in this area in abundance and with ease. Scenic majesty and abundant wildlife could hardly in and of themselves induce Alaskans to visit here. Homer is special for many other reasons. The large number of artisans residing and contributing to the community create an altogether unique and fascinating character for Homer. The subject of Homer art and artist could easily fill hours worth of fascinating viewing without exhausting the wealth of creative expression to be found in this tiny town and the communities surrounding the Kachemak Bay. Art thrives in Homer, and Homer thrives in art. A number of galleries are open year-round, showcasing local artists' original visual art. The Homer Council on the Arts acts as a hub of activity throughout the year. However, the council really shines in April as it presents Homer's Spring Arts Festival. This festival includes a variety of special events. There is a juried art show at the Pratt Museum, readings by prize-winning community writers, a number of dance programs and musical recitals, and always an appearance by a renowned performer. A full week to 10 days of activities fill the calendar for Homer's April Arts Extravaganza. During the summer, visitors are delighted by a number of theater groups, including our own Pier 1. Homer loves to boogie. Musicians like our own Johnny B provide foot-stamping, hand-clapping, fanny-wiggling tunes. Outdoor concerts during the long summer evenings are commonplace. The Kachemak Heritage Land Trust and our local PBS station have such events every summer. During the fall, the Fiber Arts Collective sponsors Homer's Wearable Arts Fashion Show. This is a very popular event, always sold out. If you wish to attend, you need to plan well in advance. December is, again, a wealth of artistic expression here, as the entire community turns out for an annual performance of the Nutcracker. Winter Carnival brings all of us out to enjoy and celebrate in this Homer's Winter Extravaganza. The present-day celebration continues a tradition established during the 1950s. The parade down Pioneer Street, complete with floats and fanfare, has brought a break in the winter doldrums for 3 generations of Alaskans. By Saturday afternoon, the town is warmed up and ready for the ice races out on Beluga Lake, or perhaps the dog pulls, or any one of a number of special events taking place that weekend. Visitors from the lower 48 generally find themselves surprised by Homer's comparatively mild winter climate. Homer residents may typically be found on a Saturday afternoon downhill skiing with their families, cross-country skiing, or perhaps snowmobiling. All of Alaska loves dog sled teams, and Homer is no exception. A number of hobbyists and professional racers live on the Lower Kenai Peninsula. In the days before the highway, dog sledding was a common mode of transportation. Many of Homer's older citizens participated in the Alaska homesteading era. These wonderful men and women are very much respected members of our community. The Homer Senior Center has an open door to visiting seniors from down below. A visitor to the center could spend a wonderful afternoon talking with men and women who actually lived a homesteader's life. Here, Homer seniors participated in a national fishing derby. Mr. McLeod took first place nationally with a fish caught that day. No matter where people go in Alaska, they want to be able to fish. All of the salmon reaching the Kenai Peninsula passes through Homer's front door. Starting in May, the Homer Spit takes on a life of its own, and an entire small community springs to life here. Hundreds of rivers, streams, and creeks flow through the southern tip of the Kenai Peninsula. Some pretty exciting fish have been caught in these inland waterways. River fishing affords a chance for everyone to get into the act and enjoy a long Alaskan summer day. If ocean fishing is more your style, as many as 50 charter companies stand ready to accommodate a fishing visitor. These charters spend a 12-hour day fishing for king, silver, red, and pink salmon, as well as the huge flatfish, the halibut. An average halibut weighs approximately 45 pounds. But a 300-pound fish is not unheard of. The annual Halibut Derby awarded $41,000 of prize money in 1992 for halibut caught in monthly drawings. One lucky fisher person received almost $21,000 that year for catching the largest halibut. Two prizes of $10,000 each went unclaimed. Salmon fishermen have equal opportunity with several derbies available in Homer and the surrounding area.
I got the jackpot, $3,500.
So we won $4,500. We got second weight, first biggest fish.
Second weight, first biggest fish. $3,500 for that first one.
1,000 for the second weight.
For the most poundage aboard one boat for 7 people.
Okay.
Nothing better than spending it with the people I like. Nothing better.
But wait, that's not all the good eating from the sea. All around Homer and up and down the coast, people love to clam. Homer resident Carol Garcia and her 3 boys took to the beach during low tide to collect their supper. The boys didn't need much encouragement to dig in the sand. Clamming can be a wonderful family activity. After shelling, the clams are cleaned, rinsed, then fried up for supper. Kids get pretty excited eating food that they've harvested with their own hands. A Sunday dinner like this stays with everyone for a very long time. The wonder of the ocean, bay, and inlet delight us all. An entirely different world exists on the other side of Kachemak Bay. Diane McBride, a long-term resident of the area, took our cameras on a mini tour of this world.
Flying over Kachemak Bay, we can see the forested beauty of Halibut Cove, Peterson Bay, and Chinapoo Bay. The Kachemak Bay State Park offers many wonderful hiking trails within the Sitka spruce forests. In Peterson Bay, the Center for Alaskan Coastal Studies has a field station, where spring and fall educational programs are held for hundreds of Alaskan young people. The summer program offers natural history day trips for visitors of all ages to spend the day exploring the marine biology and the natural history of Kachemak Bay. The Center for Alaskan Coastal Studies is a non-profit grassroots organization working to increase the awareness of young people and adults about our fascinating marine environment. With knowledge comes appreciation, understanding, and wise stewardship. Students and adults can explore an undisturbed marine ecosystem, immerse themselves in an environment that sustained prehistoric peoples for thousands of years, and enjoy the pristine beauty of the other side of the bay. This is a multifaceted learning environment. Visitors to the center aged 7 or 70 are introduced to the gentle use philosophy embraced by the Society. Each person is encouraged to treat wildlife and plant life respectfully. People, particularly children, grow through education. They gain a fresh perspective on themselves, their relationship with others, and their relationship with the natural world. This is the essence of the Center for Coastal Studies, to provide the opportunity and the stimulating environment for individual growth to occur, where people can see themselves as a part of their natural world. The Center for Coastal Studies volunteers are birders, naturalists, and teachers involved in the wonderful experience of sharing their environment, geology and archaeology, and appreciation for the natural resources is part of the total experience of visiting the other side of the bay.
The bay permeates the soul of each and every Homer resident. This special place draws special people. Most Homer residents actualize the concept of Earth stewardship. Residents display this actualization each year in their annual Coast Walk. We chose to let area residents Mike McBride, Daisy Lee Bitter, and Sue Christensen share their thoughts about the bay, the people who live here, and their Coast Walk.
How's that, John? Good. If anybody wants to look out the window while we've got that beautiful light on the mountains over there, it'll serve as one more little bit of a reminder of what a magic and fabulous place this is that we live. I'll try to be brief here. Joanne asked me to tell you about how the Coast Walk got started. It got started like many things like this do, just with a simple idea. And the focus of the energies within this group of people has always been directed to what's out there, and the fabulous ability that that medium has to cause us to be more excited about life and to want to learn more. And so we thought, well, what better thing to do in order to learn more about Kachemak Bay and to try to create a group of people here who are well-informed and wise stewards and who might be able to take good care of this area in the future. What better way to accomplish that than actually getting out there and involving yourself in this living classroom?
From the beginning, from the board to all the many wonderful volunteers we have, we kind of do a mutual education program. We learn an awful lot from each other, and we feel privileged to be a part of what's going on around here. And one of the things I think that brings us the most joy is sharing that information with others.
That's it. Thank you so much. It's really makes something well up inside when you know that there's this many people that are committed to our bay and the place that we live, and we're lucky to be here to have each other, I guess.
Another special individual, Walter Johnson, invited us to join him for a tour of his homestead. Dr. Johnson is a retired physician whose wisdom and love for the earth and its plant life shows in his everyday life. He's a wonderful example of the type of individual you will find here in Homer.
This has been now 50 years ago in June since I first came to Alaska, and it's 25 years ago next month that we first came to this homestead and purchased it. About a half an acre of the land below us here is covered with raspberries, which have grown essentially wild since the 1940s and do very well on their own. Here's some that I transplanted to the edge of the garden, and these were planted last year, so most of them are this year's, which will bear next year. Only a few of them bearing now. But many people come and pick raspberries on shares, so I really have my freezer full in the fall, and other people get to enjoy them too. We have some of the best water found anywhere along the hillside here, and it has essentially iron-free. This spring was put in first by Maclay 1946 with logs, and then 20 years later I did the plywood box, and just this summer we finished putting the concrete in, so that will last the next 200 years. We're going to go up through the knoll here and across there and up that ridge and look down on the cabins. Now we have come into the wild berry patches. Here are some wild raspberries, small but very flavorful. And then, of course, masses and masses of rose hips, which we pick in the fall and use for making pie, like pumpkin pie. There are two kinds of roses growing here. This shorter variety, and then with bright red berries, and then a taller rose which has orange but larger berries. And the challenge is to extract the pulp and separate it from the skins and the seed. But once you get the pulp, as I said, it's just like pumpkin and can be used for either jam or pies. It's very good combined with tart berries such as hibiscus cranberries. Yes, here's some more views of the wild roses with the ferns in the background. The ferns, of course, are called fiddleheads and harvested and eaten as greens in the early spring. I asked my friend Jan Schofield, who has recently published a fascinating book on edible wild plants, to come and do an inventory. And on a brief walk through the 40, she listed 89 different species. Yeah, right here we have some baneberries, which are one of the few very poisonous wild berries in Alaska. Some are white and some are red, both very poisonous. We hope you've enjoyed the little tour, and we look forward to giving you a follow-up in 1993. Cheerio.
The list of fascinating, well-educated, interesting people goes on and on. Homer residents include Coast Guard personnel, government biologists, geologists, and many people who earn their living from the sea. Homer has traditionally been a seaport. During the 1940s, the United States Corps of Engineers drew up plans to house the entire North Pacific Fleet in Kachemak Bay. These plans never reached fruition. During the 1964 earthquake, the Homer Spit sank 7 feet, necessitating reconstruction of the entire port facility. Since that time, there have been numerous improvements, making this one of Alaska's finest seaports. Commercial fishermen from across the state harbor their ships here. Life as a fisherman affords a traditional romance in the lure of the sea. The work is hard, dangerous, and pays according to the boat's catch, thus pretty risky financially. These fishermen are working in the world's most deadly waters, the Bering Sea. The large pots hopefully will hold enough king crab to make this risk worthwhile. A person can only imagine how wet and cold this evening's work must have been. But many men and women find the challenge and the lure of the sea too great to resist. Fish and crab caught by fishermen go to a processing plant such as this one at the end of the Homer Spit. Here, people like Jean Keene make a living processing the sea's bounty. Jean, the woman in orange, is a remarkable woman in many aspects. This woman, in her 70s, heads a processing crew by day, then rescues, defends, feeds, and fosters eagles on the Homer Spit. Throughout the world, Jean Keene is known as the Eagle Lady. Eagles mass in large numbers at different times throughout the year on the Homer Spit. Everyone realizes that eagles historically have symbolized strength, majesty, and spirit. Spend an hour with these, the ultimate bird of prey, and you will understand why. While watching these birds, think of the time when our nation was young and these birds lived everywhere. Think of their story, our story, and your story. Homer encourages such quiet contemplation. It's a place to pause and to breathe.